Okay, welcome back to the VDC space. Today we're gonna be modeling a T-pipe valve in Revit. So before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to please subscribe, and share. If you are new, subscribe to the channel. If you already subscribed, hit that notification button because I upload BIM modeling tutorials and Revit tutorials 3 times every week. I cover different topics. And as you can see by today, I'm covering mechanical components today. We're gonna model a T valve, T pipe fitting, if I can call it that. And we're gonna use a generic model. So just go to open up a Revit, whatever version you are using, and go to family new, and then open up a new generic family template. So here we are in the reference level or the floor plan. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the front elevation, and on the front elevation we're going to set up our references. So I'm just going to extend this reference line level, and then let me just extend this metal reference plane and lock it again. So I'm just gonna reduce this. So we're gonna set up our references, which will make it easier for us to apply our dimensions. So I'm gonna start on the left hand side. I'm gonna say reference plane, and then I'm just gonna place it randomly on this side, and then I'm gonna offset it from the middle by, so it's gonna be equals to 355 divided by 2, and then it's going to be set like that. So let me just increase the scale and make it okay. 1 is 200. I think it's fine. I'm going to select it, mirror click axis, and then it's going to be copied to the other side. And then I'm going to select this reference plane, and then I'm going to copy it to the right by I think, actually no, I'm gonna go to create and say reference plane again, place another one on this side, and then this one I'm gonna offset it from the middle reference plane by, so I'm gonna make it, let's make it 80. So it's gonna be 80 millimeters. And then I'm gonna go to create again and say reference plane, and then I'm gonna place another one on this side, and then this one I'm gonna offset it from the middle reference plane by, so it's gonna be equals to 135 divided by 2, which is 67.5. And let me just apply dimensions to this so that I can see them. I'm gonna reduce the scale. Perfect. And now it's gonna be set like that. So I'm going to select these two reference planes, and then I'm going to copy them towards the other side, and then it's going to be set like that. And now the next thing is, I think we can start modeling. I think our references I think it's more than enough. So the next thing is we're going to go to the left elevation. So on the left elevation, we're going to use this as our insertion point. So I'm going to go to create and say extrusion, and then I'm going to select my circle, and then I'm going to place a circle with a diameter of 180. So our radius is going to be it's going to be 90 millimeters. And then I'm gonna have an opening, obviously. So our opening is gonna be 80 millimeters in diameter. So our radius is gonna be 40 millimeters. And then I'm gonna place it like that. And then I'm gonna say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation. So I'm gonna drag it towards the right. And then, so the thickness of this part of our, okay, I'm gonna call this one the left insertion point of our T pipe valve. And so the thickness, I'm going to make it 25 millimeters, and then I'm just going to place it like that. And now the next thing is I'm going to have to place another extrusion on this side. So I'm gonna go back to the left elevation and say create, and then I'm gonna say extrusion, and then I'm gonna select my my circle again, and then from this insertion point I'm gonna have another circle which is 90 millimeters in diameter. So our radius is going to be 45 millimeters. And then I'm going to say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation, and then I'm going to drag it towards this point, and then I'm going to select it and then drag it towards this point, this reference plane. So if I can just place dimensions like this. So this is basically our setup. So the next thing is we're gonna have to place the body of our T pipe fitting. So for that, I'm gonna go back to the left elevation. So on our left elevation, I'm gonna say create again and say extrusion, and then I'm gonna select my circle. And then this time our circle is gonna have a diameter of 220 millimeters. So our radius is gonna be 110 millimeters. And then I'm just gonna place it like that. Go say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation, and then I'm gonna drag it towards this point and then also towards this point. And then let me just open up the 3D view. So this is how it's set up so far. So the next thing is okay. Then one thing I forgot to do when it comes to this one is I'm gonna have to poke a hole when it comes to it. So I'm gonna go to edit extrusion, go to the left elevation, and then I'm gonna have to place another hole. So I think I'm gonna make it from this insertion point. I think I can make it a radius of 90. Say finish edit mode, go to 3D view, and yeah, this is how it looks. And then this one, I'm gonna go back to the left elevation. Then from this insertion point, I'm gonna place it at the radius of 90. I think that's fine. Say open up the 3D view. Okay, let me just fix that. Just gonna say pick lines and then pick these lines. Say finish edit mode. So this is how it looks. Now I'm gonna go to the front elevation. So on the front elevation, I'm gonna select this extrusion, and then I'm gonna mirror it towards the other side, and then I'm gonna have to edit its parameters. So I'm gonna say edit extrusion and its outer boundary. I'm just gonna increase it so it's 100 millimeters in diameter and 50 millimeters in radius. So I'm just gonna increase it and perhaps make it let's go with 60. Finish edit mode, go to the front elevation, and I think 60, yeah, 60, I think it's fine. And then I'm gonna go to the front elevation again, and then I'm gonna select this one and then mirror it towards the other side, go to the 3D view, and then this one I'm gonna select it and then say edit extrusion, and then the outer circle I'm gonna increase it. So I'm gonna make so it has a diameter of 220. So the radius I'm gonna make it 110 and say finish edit mode, and then go to the front elevation, and this is basically how it looks. And on the 3D, this is essentially how it looks. So what I'm going to do now, before I go any further, I'm just going to change the level of detail to fine our graphics to realistic. and then I'm just gonna select all my extrusion and then apply material to this. So I don't know if let's see if I type in pipe, what happens. So it's gonna give us these steel options. So I'm gonna load in one and say apply and then okay, and this is what we have. Now the next thing is I'm gonna apply the top part of our pipe. So I'm gonna go to the reference level, so which is basically the floor plan, and then I'm gonna say create and say extrusion, and then I'm gonna select my cycle, and on this insertion point I'm gonna apply the outer diameter. It's 355, so our radius is gonna be equals to 355 divided by 2, and then it's going to be set like that, and then the inner diameter is going to be, I think we can make it 70, so our radius is going to be 35. I don't think that's, no, this is not 355, this is actually 160, so our radius is going to be 80. Sorry about that. Our radius is going to be 80, so our inner diameter is going to be 70, so our radius is going to be 35, and then it's going to be set like that. So we're going to say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation. So on the front elevation, let me just remove these dimensions. You're going to select this extrusion, and then just you're going to adjust it, and so its thickness is going to be 20, which is going to be the same as the ones on the side. And then you're just going to randomly place it like that. And then we're going to go to the reference level again and say create extrusion. And then we're going to say circle. And on this insertion point, you're going to place a circle of 70 millimeter diameter, so our radius is going to be 35, and say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation, and then we're going to drag it towards this top. And so our think our height, we can just choose our own. So let me just go to create and say reference plane, and then place a reference plane on top like this, so that this extrusion can detect the reference plane. And now I'm gonna adjust its height, and then I think I'm gonna make it 70 millimeters. So, or let me just reduce it and make it 60. And then I'm gonna attach this extrusion right on top, and then I'm gonna reduce it and make it 25 millimeters. So if I go to the 3D view, this is basically what we have. So I'm just gonna join this geometry so that I can change its material, and then it's gonna be set like that. Now the next thing is we're going to have to apply our pipe connector to this so that it makes sense. But obviously, then I think we can go to, let's just go to the left elevation, change this to shaded. So, okay, this has to be embedded into the pipe. So I'm just going to embed it like this. Go to the 3D view. So it's going to be embedded like that. And now the next thing is, so the next thing is I'm going to go to the left elevation, and then for this cycle I'm going to have to select this extrusion and say edit extrusion, select my cycle, and then I'm just going to place a random circle at 5. I think I'm going to make it 2.5 radius, so it's going to be 5 millimeters in diameter, and then I'm going to select it and then mirror it towards the other side. And actually, let me just remove it. So I'm gonna select it, then say array. Okay, it seems like I cannot array, so I'm gonna select it and say mirror it towards the other side. And then I'm gonna select only one and say rotate, and then I'm going to say place, and then I'm going to place it right in the middle, and then I'm going to rotate towards this point, but make sure the copy option is selected, and then I'm going to copy towards this point. Then I'm going to rotate another one like that, and then place it like this. And then I'm going to select this one, rotate, and then I'm going to place my rotation there, and then I'm going to rotate it at 45 degrees. Select this one, and then it's going to be mirrored towards the other side. And this one, I'm going to also rotate it 45 degrees. I'm going to place it like that. And then this one, I'm going to mirror it towards the other side. Say finish edit mode. And then this is how it looks. Now, yeah, I think that pretty much works. So I'm gonna do the same thing this side. So I'm gonna go to the right elevation, change this to shaded. I'm gonna select my circle, edit, and then pick my circle, and then I'm gonna place one right there. And then I'm gonna make it a radius of 2.5. Then I'm just gonna select it, mirror it towards the other side. Okay, select the two of them, say rotate, and then I'm gonna place my rotation there, and then I'm gonna rotate it at 45 degrees, and then select these two again, rotate it, place my rotation point there, and then I'm gonna rotate them by 45 degrees on the other side, and then it's gonna be placed like that. And then I'm gonna say, let me just select these again, place my rotation point there, and then I'm going to rotate it at 90 degrees, and then it's going to be set like that. Go to the 3D view, and this is how it looks. So obviously, I think we can increase the sizes of where our bolts are gonna be placed. So I can go to this extrusion again, select my circle, and let me just go to the left elevation. So I'm gonna increase it and make it 10. So it's gonna have a radius of 5. So our diameter is gonna be 10, 10. So our radius is gonna be 5. Finish edit mode, go to the other side, and I think that's a lot better. So this one, okay, let me just go to the right elevation. So the radius is gonna be 5, 5, 5, and then 5. Perfect. Now you can say finish edit mode to open up the 3D view, and this is how it looks. Now it's gonna be the same logic on this part. So this extrusion, I'm gonna select it, go to the reference level, and then I'm gonna say edit extrusion. So I'm gonna increase this and then actually make it let's just make it 60 degrees radius. No, actually, let's make it 50. Let's go with 50. And then we're going to place another extrusion like this at 35 millimeter radius and say finish edit mode. Open up the 3D view, and this is how it looks. And obviously, we're gonna have to place a void on top. So if I go to the front, actually if I go to the reference level, I'm gonna say create and say extrusion, void extrusion, and then I'm gonna select my circle, and then I'm gonna place it on this insertion point and like this, and then say finish edit mode, go to the front elevation, and then I'm gonna drag my extrusion towards this point, and then I'm gonna place it right there, and then I'm just gonna adjust it like that. And go to the 3D view, and then if I select it, as you can see, Let me just go to wireframe. As you can see, there's an extrusion that's happening right on the inside. So let me just go back to the front elevation and just gonna place it like that. Yeah, there's actually an extrusion right on the inside, and also there's an opening right on the inside. So just go back to the 3D view and then set this to realistic, and this is basically how it looks. Now it's time to place those holes on this part of our valve. So I'm gonna go to the reference level, set this to shaded, and then I'm gonna select this extrusion, edit extrusion, and then I'm gonna place my circle right there, and then I'm gonna make it 5 millimeter radius, select it, and then I'm gonna mirror it towards the other side. Select the two of these, and then I'm just gonna copy them by rotation. Then it's gonna be set like that. Select these two again, and then I'm gonna copy them by 90 degrees. So I'm gonna open up the 3D view, and this is how it's gonna be set up basically. Now, the last step when it comes to this, obviously, you can apply your omni-class number and then give this generic model an identity. So you can just name it the pipe or something. So I think where can we get that? So let's just go to waste management. No. Okay, let's just open this. Go to MEP, HVAC duct. No. Let's just, yeah, pipe accessories. So I'm going to say general purpose surfaces. So I'm going to say I'm going to give it an omni class of this one. So I'm just going to name it a pipework fittings and say okay. Now it has an omni class number. It has an identity. It's no longer a generic model. So the next thing is obviously you're going to have to apply this very much intelligent feature in Revit, which is the pipe connector. So you're going to have to um, apply it towards the openings of your T-shaped valve. So you're going to apply it on this point and also this point and also on this point. So we're going to say pipe connector. And then as you can see for the placement plane, we have two options, which is the face and also the work plane. So on the face, if you hover over this opening, you can actually select the circumference of this small circle, and then this is where your pipe connector will be certainly placed. And then you can select it, and then you can adjust its diameter. So the diameter of this, if I remember correctly, let's just measure it. So our diameter is 80. So I'm going to select this and then set the diameter to 80. So when you load it into your project, it's going to detect this opening as 80 millimeter diameter. And as you can see, it has reduced. So we're going to also tackle this side. Go to create and say pipe connector. We're going to select it by face and then select this circumference. And then we're going to select this pipe connector and then adjust its diameter and set it to 80 millimeters also. So it's going to move from this side and also this side. And we're going to do the same thing this side. Also, the diameter of this one, let's just check. It's 70. So we're gonna go to create and say pipe connector, and then we're gonna place it by face and then select this circumference and then select our pipe connector and then set the diameter to 70 millimeters, and then it's going to be adjusted like this. Now if you go to the front elevation, so this is basically what we have. This is how your pipes will be connected, and this is how the flows will move. So when you go back to the 3D view and then select your pipe connector, you can see we have these parameters when associated with that pipe connector, which is the flows, the K coefficient, the flow factor, and so on and so forth. Now it's very much an intelligent family, and when you load it into your project, you can actually connect the pipes on each side. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I certainly have, and uh, I hope I can see you on the next tutorial. Please like, subscribe, and share, and also comment. And yeah, I will see you on the next tutorial. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Peace.